All right, let's get right into it and talk about your emergency fund. We all know we're supposed to have one, right? But, the world in 2026 it feels like a very different place. The old advice might not just be a little bit outdated, it might actually be holding you back. So today, we're going to rethink the whole idea of an emergency fund from the ground up. So let's just ask the big question right at the top. How much do you personally really need to have tucked away for when life inevitably goes sideways? I'm not talking about your neighbor or some financial guru on TV, but you. What's your number? You've heard it a million times. I know you have. It's probably the most common piece of financial advice out there. That magic number. 3 to 6 months of your living expenses all saved up and just sitting there in the bank. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, what if it's not that simple anymore? What if blindly following that one-size-fits-all rule is actually leaving you dangerously exposed in today's economy? That's exactly what we're here to figure out. Okay, let's dive into what I like to call the 3-6-month myth. We're going to really break down why this old rule just doesn't cut it for so many of us anymore. And it's no wonder people are so confused. On one hand, you've got experts like Dave Ramsey telling you, hey, just start small. Get a baby emergency fund of $1,000 to get some momentum. But then you've got Suze Orman on the other side saying you need a massive 8-month cushion for true security. I mean, they can't both be right for everyone, can they? And the data? Well, the data really shows how out of touch this traditional benchmark is. Look at this. Nearly half of all millennials haven't been able to save up even 3 months of expenses. And when that many people can't hit a financial target, you have to start asking, is the problem with the people or is the problem with the goal itself? So let's move past that and build a better model. It's time to find your personal target. We're moving away from a generic one-size-fits-all rule and finding a number that actually makes sense for your real life. So here is the absolute key to all of this. Your emergency fund target isn't really a number of months. It's a direct reflection of your personal financial risk. It's simple. The more risk and unpredictability you have in your life, the bigger your safety net needs to be. And this right here, this is the core framework for this whole explainer. Let's figure out your risk band. Are you low risk? Maybe that's a stable, salaried job in a 2-income household. You're probably looking at about 3 months. Or are you medium risk? Maybe you're self-employed or in a single-income household with kids. That's closer to 6 months. Or maybe you're high risk, with income that's all over the place, like commission or freelance work, and you've got high fixed costs. Then you should be aiming for 9 months, maybe even more. Just take a second and see which one of these really sounds the most like you. And to really dial in on that risk band, you got to be honest with yourself about these 3 things. First, how stable is your income? Really? Is it predictable or does it go up and down? Second, what are your non-negotiable obligations every single month? Things like kids, a mortgage. And finally, what are the gaps in your insurance? How much would you actually have to pay out of pocket if something bad happened? These are the questions that define your true financial risk. Okay, so by now, you should have a personalized target in your head. The next really obvious question is, how in the world do you actually build it? So let's get practical. Here's a step-by-step action plan. Okay, first things first, let's be crystal clear on what we're actually calculating here. Your target is based on your essential expenses. This is not your total monthly spending. This isn't your fund money or your subscriptions. It's the bare bones, must-pay amount you need to survive. We're talking housing, food, utilities, the absolute essentials. Everything else gets cut in an emergency. Now listen, if you've done the math on your big target number and it feels completely impossible, like you just want to give up, I want you to ignore it for now. Seriously, just focus on this number instead. $500. A small starter fund of just $500 can be that critical buffer that stops a surprise car repair from spiraling into high-interest credit card debt. Just start right here. And to get to that first goal and then keep going, here are 3 really powerful moves you can make. 1, automate it. Set up automatic transfers so you don't even have to think about it. 2, maximize it. Put that money in a high-yield savings account so it's actually working for you and growing. And 3, boost it. Anytime you get extra money, a bonus, a tax refund, whatever, just throw it directly into that fund. All right, now for the big one. The question that stops so many people from even starting to save. What do you do if you have debt? Do you save money or do you pay down the debt? Let's solve this dilemma once and for all. You know, this quote from money expert Jessica Morehouse just says it perfectly. She says, "We need cash in the bank first." And why is that? Because if you don't have it, the next emergency, and there will be one, just forces you right back into more debt. You end up undoing all the hard work you did. It's a vicious cycle. So here is the expert-approved plan. It's a two-step process. First, you're going to hit pause on being super aggressive with your debt repayment. Instead, you're going to focus all that extra cash on building up your starter fund. And while you're doing that, for step 2, you just maintain your debt. Just make the minimum payments required. That's it. And the logic here is really, really simple. The goal isn't to ignore your debt forever, not at all. It's to build a small cash cushion first. That way, the next time your car breaks down, you can pay for it with cash, not with a credit card. That is how you break the debt cycle for good. So I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. In today's world, it's just not enough to focus on building wealth. You also have to build resilience. So ask yourself, is your financial plan just about growth, or is it also preparing you for the unexpected? Because having a right-sized emergency fund, that isn't just about saving money. It's about buying yourself stability and peace of mind, no matter what happens next.